Intro music.
Overview narration.
My name is James.
And my name is Joey, and this is the Brothers Padre.
Do you want to hear something exciting, Joe?
I do.
Only 20 more days until opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, welcome to this episode of the Brothers Padre. Episode 6, James.
Holy cow.
Time has flown by.
It seems like just yesterday we did 5.
Yeah. So, James, a little bit of side action in spring training land of the San Diego Padres. As always in spring training, not super exciting stuff, but it is interesting stuff.
And important.
Very important. Records matter.
Yes.
And listen, we're below 500.
We are.
I mean, do we just tank now, James? Do we give up now?
So here's an interesting thought. An interesting just stat. The Padres had their worst spring training record ever in 1998, and they went on to be a World Series contender that year. I don't worry too much about whether we're below 500 right now.
James, the golden cactus flies forever, you know? We got to get that golden cactus, James.
I know what it means. It's just... It sounds like an awkward thing to do. So I could go out and pee on a cactus? Or what are you going to do?
So let's jump into it, James. The big news this week, of course, Tatis Jr. did not appear in that many spring training games.
Yes, it was panic time. They came out and said it was aches and pains, but turns out it was just a millionaire's flu, and he came back.
We all get it, you know.
Yeah,
The first 10 mil hits your bank account, get the sniffles all of a sudden. We get it.
Well, it was... What? I'm a millionaire. I should call my mom or something.
So when he reported back in spring training, they reported that he lost a pound, which I think it's hilarious that they keep track of people, like the weight.
True.
Like, how weird is it to be an athlete? It's like, oh, you're sick? Get on the scale.
Yeah.
Get on this. Are you actually sick? What's your height? Like, why does this matter? It's like, he could be 20 pounds underweight. We don't care. Just produce results.
I do like that they had to share that he lost a pound. Like, your prayers worked, San Diego. It was only a pound. We gave him an ice cream cone and he made it up.
So, James, we were a little worried, but thankfully came back. And the first at bat, 3-2 count, hits a home run. So,
yeah, that was him telling San Diego, don't worry, it was just the sniffles. It wasn't the bad sniffles that everyone's scared of nowadays. It was just the sniffles.
So that's like our not really drama of the week. And so a couple cool things that happened also. Darvish looked very, very good.
He just looked unhittable. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's weird watching a Padres pitcher that you know is good. And not to say we don't have good pitchers before, because Lamet, his ability is like he throws hard and a super hard slider. And the game of the kidder is like, I hope I can catch up or guess one of them. With Darvish, he's like, I throw 11 pitches. And in that outing, he threw 7 in his two inning outing, threw 7 pitches.
The thing is with Darvish, it isn't that he's a better pitcher than some of the Snell or the Lamet. It's just that his stuff is different. He does throw 12 different pitches, and he has 2 different arm angles on several of those pitches. So he has about 20 different pitches he can throw. He throws them all accurately. He is the closest thing to a Greg Maddux in baseball right now, and he
throws harder than Maddux.
He does. And the thing is with Maddux, it's with Snell, not Snell, Darvish, with Darvish he is so much, just his stuff is so much more electric. And that's what again, he's not a better pitcher than the other guys. Stats wise, his stuff just looks more different because he can fool pitchers in every account, every pitch. You don't know what he's going to throw much more to the pitch. Hitter knows what he throws. He's just more exciting to watch, and he's just more dominant, and he's just more fun to watch because he can throw everything but the kitchen sink, and it's just like they limit fastball, slider. But they're all dominant pitches. But when you have 12 dominant pitches, he's something special, and he's always been something special. It's just, like you said, it's interesting to have it as a Padre.
I'm going to push back a little bit on you. He is the best pitcher on our staff, and I think we may disagree about that. And that's fine, but I think his acumen and his track record is such where when he's 75%, he's still a really good pitcher.
I honestly agree with you. I just have trouble giving somebody best pitcher on the staff before the season starts. As of right now, he's the best pitcher we have.
Is he your opening day starter?
Absolutely.
Right? You have to.
There's nobody. Let me don't get me wrong. Snell can be our opening day starter.
So does Lamet.
Those guys would be an opening day starter for any other team in baseball. I just don't think. Again, Darvish definitely is our opening day starter. I don't want to call him the best pitcher on our staff until we see the end of the. I don't like proclaiming that on somebody until the end of the year.
Okay, that's fair. You don't put that pressure on him.
Same thing with best hitter. We know who the best hitters are on our team.
Yeah, it's obviously Jorge Mateo.
Obviously, Jorge Mateo. Obviously.
Listen, I like Jorge Mateo. No offense, Jorge.
Yeah, no.
Come on our podcast.
Come on our podcast. We love you.
Speaking of pitchers, there is a slight rumbling about that Lamet may not be available on the first couple weeks of the season.
Yes, he's only thrown 2 innings so far, if I remember correctly.
Do I have to look it up?
No, let's just trust us.
2 innings, James.
2 innings.
2 innings. I see right here in my stat machine, it says 2 innings.
2 innings, your stat machine. It's a special stat machine he spent extra for.
Yeah, so there's a rumbling that he might be held back because of the elbow thing that he's dealing with, which is always sketchy as a fan and sketchy as a pitcher.
Yes, but I think any other year losing a Lamet would hurt. But as we've talked about many times so far in our incredible run of 6 episodes, we have a significant depth of pitching. We have a Lamet. When we don't have a Lamet, we will have a Darvish. We have a Snell. We have a Musgrove. We have a Weathers. We have a Gore. We have pitchers to throw in there, and Marhone. We have plenty of pitchers, and this might be a time. And Paddock. We have Paddock.
Right.
We have
Musgrove. Yeah.
We have big league starters. And this might be their opportunity for one of them to show their Major League Baseball potential.
I think you're absolutely right. I think Lamet is.
I think we're going to see, if Lamet misses 4 starts, say, we're going to see Weathers start 1, we're going to see Gore start 1, and we're going to see Paddock start 1.
Paddock. I think Paddock's there. Paddock's the 4. Paddock's number 4. I think Paddock. Well, let's go through this. Okay, so who's number 1? Let's go through Let's do a hypothetical 5-man rotation. Number 1, Darvish. Number 2, Snell. Number 3,
without Lamet, it's Musgrove.
You think it's Musgrove?
Without Lamet, yes. With Lamet,
you think that Musgrove? It's just so I agree with you. I think Musgrove actually should be number 3. But is it that weird thing of like Paddock's been with the team longer? He should be number 3. Does that matter? Does after 1 do things matter?
No, because I think Musgrove has done a lot of impressive things over the spring training.
Oh, it's awesome. Stuff looks great.
I think Musgrove has, in interviews, he's done a lot of things to improve his pitching. He is pitching to his hometown. His grandmothers are going to be in the stadium every game. He's already said this. He's going to go home to a home-cooked meal. This kid is, I think, out of all the other pitchers that we have, is going to potentially be, at the end of the season, a number one starter. He won't be number one starter in our rotation, but he could be number one starter in anybody else's rotation. I think this is his year, potentially. Definitely number 3 starter. And I think Paddock understands that. Paddock knows he had improvements to do, and until he can show he can make those improvements, the highest he'll be is number 4.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I just always think about, does seniority matter? And I don't think so. I think Musgrove has...
This is not that type of union.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I agree with you. Musgrove 3, Paddock 4, and now it gets into funny business, which is number 5. And you've already mentioned it: Weathers, Morahone, and Gore. What's your feeling? What's your feeling of, let's say 20 days Lamet is out. What's the 4? Do you think it's going to be one guy? If he does well, we'll get the next start. And does that well, he'll get the next start? Or do you think it's going to be by committee?
I've already mentioned I want to see Gore pitch this year. I also want to see Weathers pitch. I think more likely Morahone will be the number 5 starter. I do think, because they've been talking about it pretty much all spring training and all offseason, that they're going to want to try to do a 6-man rotation.
Right.
If Morahone pitches and he starts to do very, very well, yes, he's a number 5 starter. But I think then they're going to give Gore and Weathers a shot. Because, again, Weathers came and looked like the Terminator this year. He really did. He wants a spot. I think all the pressure's on Gore now, because the other guys know what it takes, and they're going the extra mile.
I think Gore's stuff looks... I mean, he's pitched... When I say this, there hasn't been that many televised Padres spring training games, which in years past wasn't a problem, but we didn't have great talent, so now it's annoying. So get together, Fox Sports San Diego. Anyway, so the one time I've seen Gore pitch on video, stuff looked really good against the Rockies. I don't know if he gets... I don't think he gets the first number 5 star. I think you're right. I think it's Morahone or Weathers. I think it's Morahone and maybe bullpen, like maybe a 4-inning start bullpen game. I don't think we go 6-man until Lamet's back.
I agree, because once Lamet's back, if we're in a groove and we start winning games, Lamet will only help. If we start going to 6-man rotation, that will only help Lamet. It will also help Snell and Darvish down the road to get less. I mean, yeah, they'll get less starts, but they'll be better productive starts in theory.
Yeah, I agree. I it's an interesting problem to have, because you definitely need Lamet. If we're going to build a World Series contender, you need to have Lamet healthy.
Absolutely.
There's no world where we make the World Series and win without him.
I think there's a world. I just think opposed to being, we have a good shot to we have an absolute shot.
Yeah, I think with him, it's just, I think sometimes as Padres fans, we also realize that 2022 is going to be bonkers, assuming they don't strike and there's a season. But if it's a 2022 season, we're going to have an insane rotation.
Yes, we're going to get better next year, and we don't even have to sign anybody.
We have a real problem next year, right? Because we have Darvish, Lamet, Snell, Musgrove, Paddock, and this guy named Mike Clevenger.
6-man rotation.
Oh, man.
We're going to go 2 for 2 with World Series. That's what it's going to be.
And Clevenger will be on a light throwing protocol, kind of like TJ. But still, it's still so crazy to think about that we're going to be better next year.
Without trading for anybody or signing anybody, because all these guys are.
I mean, it still blows my mind.
3 years.
Still blows my mind. But yeah, I'm excited to see you Darvish be pitching opening day in front of 8,000 fans.
Yes.
8,000.
2 of them.
8,000. There's going to be wait staff. No one can go to concessions. We're all going to be fed food through a tube. No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy at all. No one listen to me. Yeah, but it'll be fun. Hoping you and I are going to be there. To be determined. So, yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think he's the opening day starter. I think he is.
Oh, there's no doubt he's our opening day starter. That. As of right now, he is our best starter in spring training.
Yep.
And at the end of the year, he might be the Cy Young winner. But I think you can't throw that kind of a title, best pitcher we have of 21-20 season until the end of the year.
Yep. Speaking of starting pitchers, James, Padres starter Blake Snell has gone to public and said he noticed the laces on the ball are thicker. He says it allows him to dig into his fingers so he can more easily throw breaking balls. He's also noticing that fly balls are carrying not as much as they have previously. He says it's definitely a different ball.
This is not shocking news because Major League Baseball said they were coming out with a different ball. They decided not to change the weight on it. They decided to, in fact, change the threads. So it means a little less home runs, a lot more doubles, way more strikeouts.
Yeah, I think it's probably... I'm interested to see how it actually works out because they're saying on I think Saris from The Athletic did like a deep dive on it. I think he said an average of like a 5 feet difference in distance in home runs if using this new ball.
5 feet shorter?
Yeah. Not farther. How funny would that be?
Yeah.
How funny if it's like, actually, we actually made it easier to hit home
Well, I
runs.
was just wondering if it was 5, because they do so many advanced analytics and home runs, launch angle. There's a 5 foot launch angle, whatever, something or other degrees. I don't know what you meant by 5
Well,
foot.
the biggest thing they're doing is like the increased drag it would have. So they were saying that there are certain hitters that will be penalized by it. None of them are on the Padres. We don't hit balls. What's the word? We don't hit them like wimps, James.
No, we don't. Just ask our man Myers, who's been on a tear.
Yeah. I remember in the Tatis was slumping, and he went to Wrigley Field. This is his rookie year, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's slumping." And this kid, I mean, this is still we weren't accustomed to Tatis bombs yet. He steps up to Wrigley, and it's a 467-foot bomb to right center. And you're like, who is this guy? What is this? This kid just like is slumping and just destroyed a ball. And 467 feet minus 5 is 462 feet. And that's still a home run anywhere.
Yeah, it's still a home run. I don't care what decade you play in.
That's a home run anywhere. So I'm not super worried. Actually, I think it's a good thing for our pitchers. I think it's overall going to be a good thing for baseball. I think that it's good, especially if it's not like 2017, I feel like the balls were so juiced, and that's definitely not what you want. So I think it's good. Any other thoughts about the deadened ball, James?
No, again, they've been talking about doing something to the ball for at least a couple years now. If the laces helps with pitching, and maybe it'll stop. This is an interesting thought. If they're giving the pitchers an easier ball to throw, do you think they're going to start dampening down and trying to actually catch pitchers more who are putting foreign substances, i.e. Trevor Bauer, on their hands to cheat?
I mean, I don't know. That's such a weird thing because you hear hitters interviews and they don't care because they'd actually prefer if you throw 100 that you know where it's going.
Oh, I agree that does sound
Like it's one of those weird things where like all the players are like, kind of, this is okay. I don't think so. I don't know. I think that part of me thinks that Major League Baseball doesn't give a crap because so many people do it. But another part of me wonders, Rob Manfred hates the game of baseball. So that's not true, Robert. No. You like baseball. You said you got mad at those comments. You don't listen to our podcast anyway. So Rob Manfred.
And if you do, thank you. Don't forget.
Come on our podcast. Come on our podcast. We'll be nice to you.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like
Mark Grant, have him come on our podcast.
I don't know if I just think that sometimes he comes at the game of baseball from a purity perspective, and that may not be the best thing for the sport. I don't care. I'll be honest. I don't care. I don't care if your spin rate increases 400% when you use Coca-Cola and glue together, whatever they do, sunscreen and Coca-Cola boiled together, whatever they do. I don't care. Because at the end of the day is Tim Anderson can still hit bombs off Bauer. Machado can as well. You know, G-Man Choi can hit Garrett Cole, who also is an avowed sticky man person. You know, all the Astros staff got destroyed by other teams. You know what I mean? Like, the Astros didn't make the playoffs and win. The Yankees didn't go win the World Series. Good contact beats when hit with a good pitcher. Good contact wins. That's it.
I know. I just wondered if that was their end goal because over the last 2-3 years, enough players have been complaining about it. Maybe let me rephrase. Not players, commentators have been complaining about it.
I think that the next things we're going to see are all going to be rule changes. Like there's a bunch of minor league changes they're doing. They're increasing this. They're doing a bunch of testing. They're increasing the base sizes in the minor leagues to help encourage stolen bases, doing pitch clocks. They're banning the shift, James. They're banning the infield shift. So you cannot, as an infielder, be on the outfield grass.
I don't like that because if you are history buffs out there, the shortstop's position originally in the diamond wasn't to the right of second base. He was the short outfielder. He was positioned pretty much in the middle of the outfield, directly behind the pitcher, and the second baseman literally stood on either side of the second base bag, depending on the hand of the hitter. So no, infielders, and they've changed before. I like the shift just because I think it shows the good hitters if they can start going the other way. It's on the hitters who are being shifted to start inside out on their pitches, dropping a bunt or two, and making them have to go back to original defensive pattern. I just think it adds more strategy.
I agree with you. I don't think that we live in an age of incredible baseball talent. Tatis, Acuna, Juan Soto, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. Like,
yes.
Do you think those guys are poo-pooing the shift? You don't care. No. You don't care when they rip doubles off the wall. You don't care when they hustle out crazy triple. I understand they want to. I would be okay if they said no infielder can. The left side infield cannot cross the second base invisible line, the central part of the field. I'd be okay with that. So like the second baseman the shortstop can go all the way almost right behind second base.
Okay.
And then the third baseman can just do that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with some manner of, for example, last year, Manny Machado famously caught an outfield fly in right field behind his back.
He looked like Willie Mays. It was kind of awesome.
But he was so far into right field. He's our third. I mean, let's preface this. He's our third. If you don't know anything about the Padres, he's our third baseman.
I don't care if a team takes all of their players and sits them on second base. I don't. It's there.
What Satchel Paige did. Listen.
Yes, he brought his outfielders in and sit them on as a intimidation tactic, and told the players, next team, I'm going to strike you out. I don't know if that's a true story, just in his movie.
Sounds great.
It sounds
great
great.
story.
It sounds great. Sounds great. Again, I don't care. If it's something that they want to do it. It's your defense to do. All the outfielders have a chart of the batters of the opposing team. Okay, I have to stand 2 feet this way. I have to stand this way. All advanced analytics. They all have access to this. You see them whip out the little laminated chart. They all have it.
Yep.
Of where to stand. And it's working for the most part. And it's up to the hitters and it's up to the offense and batting coaches to realize this is how you're hitting. This is how you have to change it if you want to keep being a big league ball player. These are big league ball players that get paid millions of dollars to play a sport. You can't. I don't want them to be coddled. It has to be difficult. They're being paid millions of dollars to play a sport you and I played when we were kids. I'm sorry. I love it. But show me that they're athletes. This whole, can't do this stuff because we don't like it. Sorry. I don't care. They want 3 catchers, give them 3 catchers. They want to put their entire team on the left side of that infield. Do it. I don't care. This is the most nonsense, stupid thing I've ever heard. Get rid of the shift. Oh my goodness. The shift's been around since Ted Williams.
So you're saying you might come around to banning the shift. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. This is... Oh, it's just so not... It's such... They're big league ball players. They're playing at a top level of athletic sports. Do what you can to win. I don't like cheating, but if you need to move your player from third base to short right field, and that gets you an out because analytically that guy can't hit anywhere else but that field, that's not on the defense's fault. That's on that hitter. If that hitter can't learn to hit a little blooper over the third base line, that's not on the defense's fault. That's not on the Padres' fault. That's on the stupid team that they're playing's fault. They need to know this stuff. Like, how many? That's always the best part about the shift. Oh, they have everybody, on by first base side, and the guy just drops this like little dinky bunt to third base, and he ends up on second because oh no, they have to run all the way to get it. I love that kind of stuff because it shows. Hey, you want to make a bet playing that? I make a bet I can hit a bunt. This is baseball at its purest. Quit messing with baseball. Can I have an amen? So I got some water.
Well, that is neither Padre related nor on our notes, but that was awesome. Let's try to get back on track, James. Trent Grisham got injured also this week.
Not good.
A hamstring thing. A slight hamstring pull tear. Not tear. If it's tear, it wouldn't be slight.
It is an injury that he's had in the past. It's a problem he's had, and the Padres said they know how to help him with it. But he might not make it to the... If it's bad, he might not make it to the start of the season, right?
I mean, they say a week, which would obviously not be that bad, but in general in baseball, you just don't trust what teams have to say.
No.
I mean, the best tweet about this I saw was when we did Mike Clevenger. It's like, Mike Clevenger, he's going to rehab. The Padres tweet, the official Padres account tweets, "We have signed Mike Clevenger for a 2-year, $14 million deal." Like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he's getting Tommy John surgery. What? Hold up. You can't just do that on me. You can't just build me up and take me down.
Yes. But Tommy John surgery is such... back in the 90s and earlier, it was always like, Tommy John surgery. We don't know if they can make it back. But now it's sort of just like, Tommy John, he'll be off a year and he'll come back better than ever. It's like the $6 million surgery.
So Grish, if in the event that he gets injured, we're kind of seeing what's going to happen. So today, Tommy Pham started in a spring training game in center field. I have lots of thoughts how that's a bad idea. Tommy Pham notorious for dropping fly balls. And I don't know if you know anything about the position of center field, James. You can't drop balls in center field.
Now, usually your best and quickest glove is in center field.
I don't think the Padres have said that he's a backup center fielder.
Which is ridiculous because I know for a fact Will Myers has been a center fielder. He wasn't the best center fielder, but he doesn't have a tendency to drop balls.
So we have this weird... if we need a backup center fielder, what's probably going to happen is if Grisham is not going to be part of the opening day roster, we're probably going to bring up somebody. We have a lot of roster flexibility, but in this case, we're probably going to take a flyer on someone that's in our minor league system. So as of Thursday, I'm stealing this from Kevin Acey's article. Basically, the players that are doing well for the bench, and there's one not listed that I'm going to bring up also. Tucupita Marcano started his first game in right field, played second base, third base, shortstop, and left field. Today's game, throwing error in right field, so maybe he doesn't get the job.
No.
But he's batting 500 as of Thursday. I think he's probably batting for something. Local guy, Cato from Rancho Bernardo High School, also plays first, second base, third base, and shortstop. But listen, if we get him up, we'll probably put Cronenworth or Kim and then move someone over. Jorge Mateo, we've seen before. Very fast guy. Not the greatest batsman in the world, but can play center fielder. He's a pretty competent center fielder. Brian O'Grady, also capable center fielder, also not great at the bat. Currently batting nothing. Yeah, has no batting average team. So
that means he hasn't been up to bat.
He has 2 walks though. He gets on base.
Oh, okay.
He has a. I was hoping the OVP was going to be good. It's not good. He has a 143 OVP. So, or Jorge Oña, the Bulldog, made a debut last year. Had a couple big home runs and doubles for us, and he played left field and right field. And also, maybe, possibly, my man, C.J. Abrams, could call up early, James.
He could be. He could absolutely be.
Because James, before we go into C.J. Abrams, do you have any thoughts about this predicament we're in?
No, I think we have plenty of depth. This has been on my mind for about a year and a half now. And it's about Fernando Tatis Jr. The kid is an amazing athlete.
No, don't even begin. If you tell me you want him where I think you want him,
not this year.
You can go jump in a lake. You can go.
If we're gonna keep this kid C.J. Abrams around, and if Cronenworth and Kim are as good as infielders and as good hitters as they think, I don't understand why Tatis isn't in the outfield.
You, sir. You spend too much time on Padres Twitter because this is the kind of crap they think of. The guy is the best shortstop in the entire Major League of Baseball.
I know.
He's the best current shortstop playing currently in the universe.
I understand this. But as we know, this kid has a tendency to give all he has on the field, even during spring training games, where you could leave it on the
Was
bench.
this a ploy to undercut my C.J. Abrams bit? Was this a ploy to make me mad? Because you're getting on my good side. Because the next part of the notes is to me defend C.J. Abrams, and now you make me seem like the jerk. Because now there's an open path for C.J. Abrams, obviously. So you're saying to me that Tatis should play center field?
Not this year. I'm just saying a lot of productive shortstops who are good offensive players have made late in their career positions to the outfield. We were just looking through a bunch of old cards we have. Gary Sheffield was a shortstop when he first came up to the big leagues. He ended his career in the outfield. And he saved his knees a little bit because he wasn't diving every other second. I think we just signed this kid for 14 years. We want to keep him for 14 years. Next year, I would like to see him make a move to the outfield.
I can't believe you said that. Cannot believe how you're airing out such silliness, I would say. Would you tell Manny Machado to be in the outfield?
No, Manny Machado.
Oh my goodness! Your argument's already stupid.
I just think Manny Machado has a tendency not to hustle 100% all the time.
The dude plays 162 games every year.
He does, yes.
You know how you do that? You don't ruin your knees. You have double knee surgery. Yeah, he's not going to run down every freaking ball.
Oh, I know. Tatis does.
I don't know.
Tatis this plays 110% every game. I love him for it. Again, this is a hypothetical.
No.
As of right now, I think if I was any kind of charge of the Padres for this season, if Trent Grisham doesn't make the team the opening day, I would probably put Kim in the outfield with maybe Myers in center field and Pham in right field.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do.
But next year, can you imagine an outfield?
I'm rubbing my face in despair and cringe.
Just go with me on this.
Oh my
Imagine if we had an outfield with Tatis, Myers, and Grisham, all fantastic athletes. And Tatis, you can't tell me he won't be a good outfielder.
Of course, he'd be good at anything, James. He's a freak athlete. Of course, he'd be good at any position.
And our infield would have your man Abrams and shortstop, who's everyone says is as good a defensive player as Tatis. And if he could be even a 20th of a hitter as Tatis, he's an all-star. Cronenworth or Kim at second, that's an incredible team. You were saying.
I've never been more disappointed in a take. I've never been. It's like saying, hey, I don't. Every analogy is going to fail, but imagine telling someone top of their craft, hey, how about you don't do that? How about you just become something different? It's like saying, Lady Gaga, how why don't you pick up guitar? Hey, Madonna, hey, why don't you just play the drums? What are you doing, dude? What are we doing?
Lady Gaga can't play the guitar. I've seen it.
I'm just trying to say, James, you would never ask that of that person. I don't know why I picked Madonna, Lady Gaga. I don't know. Let's say if you ask someone else that's good at something and help do something else that they're bad at. I don't think it's a good, your take is so bad, I can't think of a good analogy. That's how bad your take is. I think you have it all wrong. I think C.J. Abrams is our new center fielder, or left fielder.
I think what he'll make.
Maybe not this year, maybe next year.
My biggest thing is, we've talked about it, Fernando Tatis is 6'4". That's a big shortstop, and that's a lot of Tatis to be thrown around and could get hurt.
This is the life cycle. You want to know the life cycle of Fernando Tatis Jr.? Do you want me to regale you? Do you want me to tell you, Mr. I'm Nostradamus here. I'm going to tell you the future.
You're Nostradamus here?
Nostradamus.
Oh.
Listen, your take is so bad, my stupid made-up names are bad. This is your problem. So I'm going to tell you the life cycle of the Fernando Tatis Jr.'s career. Okay, so this is what's going to be like. His age 22 season to the age 28 season. What position is he going to play, James?
Shortstop.
From the age 29 season to the age 34 season, what position is he going to play?
Is Tatis, is Machado still on our team then?
Machado's going to be off the team by then. He's going to be playing. Tatis will be transitioning to third base. At the age 34 to 36-year-old season, what is he playing?
Right field.
No, he's the DH, you dummy. James, come on. Jeez Louise. We'll have 10. We'll have 3 DHs at that point. We're playing baseball on the moon. You know what position you'll never play? Center field. He's never going to. I don't want to make this bet, but I do kind of want to make this bet. I'm going to bet that he never plays the outfield.
I will bet you right here, right now, he plays the outfield. I will bet you any one of my Padre hats. And I should have more.
Your hat's so big. None of your hats fit me. That's like asking, why would I want one of your hats?
That's true.
I'll bet you $20.
$20 sounds fair.
You're so wrong. But part of me would die. Like, part of me would just be so sad to see Tatis, the sociable, agreeable, lovable young man that he is, all by himself in the outfield, kicking grass, just look.
Ken Griffey Jr. made it work. Ken Griffey Jr. made it look real good. I'm sorry. This is just every great shortstop has made a transition at one point. All the overrated ones to stay in shortstop.
I didn't want to end this podcast mad, but I'm mad.
Cal Ripken Jr. went from short to third.
Yeah, that's fine. Transitioning from short to third, the natural progression, the natural evolution of the roaming natural shortstop. It's the natural way, you know. God intended this way. God made the shortstop to eventually transition to third base, and maybe some special creatures go to first base, but some also just become DHs. You know, it's just the way God intended, James.
I would love to see him do that. I just think if he is going to be every bit of a superstar, I want him to be as healthy as he can be for the next 20 years. And the only way he can do that is if he plays the outfield.
Well, I was not expecting that at all. I think you're absolutely wrong, and we made a bet on it. So in 2 years, an episode, one of us will pay. Well, no, hopefully
2 years.
No, I'll get $20 in 14 years. You'll get $20 much sooner, potentially. But I think that C.J. Abrams is going to transition to the outfield come next year. And yeah, I think you're wrong. I think your bad take about C.J. Abrams and your especially bad take about Tatis.
I didn't have a bad take on C.J. Abrams.
Listen, I didn't know you hated Tatis.
I don't hate Tatis.
I didn't know you hated him so much, and now I know. Now you want this gazelle of a human to live out a life of solidarity in the desperate outfield of Petco Park, where there's no friends. His best friend, Manny Machado, is just like all alone talking to C.J. Abrams, who's pretty cool. But still, they look at each other, Tatis from the outfield, low, slow wave. Hi, Manny. And Manny's like, you're not part of us anymore, man. You're out there, dude. That's what you want for him. That's what you want for him.
I want the best athlete we have doing the best good he can. And I think Tatis in center field, making Gold Glove plays, being healthy for 20 years, 600-plus home runs in his career, 3,000-plus hits. The best way he does that is not being a shortstop.
We're going to have to end this podcast because I'm just going to keep getting more mad.
What's our next topic?
That's all our topics, James. Too heated. Too heated. Remember to follow us on Spotify, YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're on any podcast feed. We're on Overcast on iOS.
Also, please leave a comment whether you think I am right about the shift.
You want some comments? You want some comments? Comment that you think you want Tatis Jr., the embodiment of peace and love, to be out in the lonely wasteland of the outfield. See if you agree with that comment.
I want the best athlete we have to be healthy for 20 years.
How dare you?
Leave a comment, ladies and gentlemen.
How,
I have to be here with this man.
how dare you?
Have a good night.